Hi everybody, Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier, DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Sunday, December the 11th, race number 11 at Remington Park. You know, I always have fun with this race. It's a nice one. The Remington Springboard Mile, $300,000 is the purse. Let's take a look at this field. I want to remind everybody, free Formulator Race of the Day past performances available on the Race of the Day event page. Download them, follow along with us. The number one is I'm a Wild Bling. I'm a Wild Bling's won 2 out of 3 starts. The problem is the lone loss came going 2 turns and he's kind of sprint bred.
You see these too much bling sort of horses, the Texas breds, they're all speed. Not very many of them are able to stretch out successfully. And you also have to factor in, I think this horse is just facing better competition, and you can use that run 2 back as sort of a par level. Guess what? Got buried by 2 in here. That figured to be middle-ish prices in here.
It appears the number 2, Hallelujah Hit's getting pretty good. He's won his last 2 starts. He's a half-brother to a multiple stakes winner and a fairly versatile horse named I'm a Hit. My only problem with his most recent start against fellow Oklahoma breds is that race hasn't come back very strong thus far.
No, it hasn't. I also look at it and say, I thought he had a pretty good trip, all things considered. Mid-pack between horses, had plenty of chances to go on with it. Of that race, I prefer the runner-up because I thought he had to overcome a little bit more, and I thought he ran well.
Well, before we get to that one, let's talk about the 3, My Golden Aura. I think this horse might be dirtied up a little bit. Career debut just fine. I know it was only 4.5 furlongs, but he was the universal good thing. Bet down to 11 to 10 in a 7-horse field. Throw out the Classic Empire race. He had no shot there. Throw out the turf races. If you go back in this horse's female family, you see names like Grade 1 Dirt Route winner Katinka. My Golden Aura, I guess, is going to be interesting simply because he's not exposed, and he's going to be a big price.
It's going to be a giant price. You look at it, the connections obviously do well. Danny Pish really excels turf to dirt, particularly also 2-year-olds. My biggest concern is pace scenario. I don't think there's going to be a blistering one signed on. I think this one's going to be coming from the back.
Number 4, U.S. Officer. Nice to see that this horse has already succeeded around a mile, and then he backed that race up with a rallying victory in the local prep for the Remington Springboard Mile, the Clever Trevor, which he beat a horse named Divine Caleb. That horse came back to run second with a 66 Beyer speed figure. Now, here are the negatives. U.S. Officer took advantage of a good pace situation last time out, and he still hasn't gotten back to that first race Beyer of 70.
You know, I like this horse. I think there's a lot to like about him. The fact that, like you say, he's proven going 2 turns. Most recently, he did take advantage of the pace scenario, but when you go back and watch the race 2 back, he broke like a shot. He broke on top, relaxed, rated very kindly, let everyone go, and he went on. It was an all-out drive, but I was encouraged by it. He is slow. He's going to need to improve as far as the figs are concerned, but I picked him second.
Totality, the number 5's got a really nice pedigree. You see the tappet on top, that says it all. But he's also a full brother to Taxable, who's a Grade 3 plays dirt router, did a couple of good things. Another full sibling with stakes place going long. And this barn, Steve Asmussen's got several in this race, won this race with Bayard back in 2004. What did you think of the last race? First time 2 turns, that just move on is fairly promising. I know he came back and got beat in the Kentucky Jockey Club, but it appears he's got some ability. It's too early to give up on this horse. Maybe he's found a good spot.
I picked this horse on top. You know, you go back and watch the entirety of that replay. Very green early on. Head held high. Didn't like the kickback. He had all sorts of trouble rounding the far turn. He got stopped pretty badly when he angled out between horses. He kicked on at the end. You go back to the debut. I know he didn't run all that well in the Delta Jackpot, but he got the better of J-Boy's Echo that day. I think there's a lot to like about Totality. I don't know that he'll ever be a superstar, but you figure with the 69 Beyer he's already got, that makes him a prime-time contender already in 2 lifetime starts. If he takes a step forward, he's got a giant chance.
I picked him 3rd in here. I think he's a prime contender for Asmussen. Does good work at Remington Park. Good work everywhere. So you're going with the Churchill Downs Invader, and I'll go with the Churchill Downs Invader with the fig, and that's 6 Young American, who was a Corey Lannery special last time out, going a mile and a 16th, where Corey just glued himself to the rail to the quarter pole. Still, there wasn't a ton of running going on early. That pace was kind of moderate to slow, 48 and 4. And Young American, I thought, showed a little bit of agility, hopping off horse's heels to get into the 3-path and upper stretch and finished it off nicely. My concern with this horse is actually a mile might be a little short for him. It looks like he wants to run all day long. Do you believe that 74 Beyer? Because it came in start number 5. I'm going to say it was his first start on dirt with blinkers, and he's one of those late developing 2-year-olds.
That's one of those things, and you've got to make the decision. What do you believe in it? For me, it was just sort of, where did that come from? But like you say, first time blinkers on dirt going 2 turns. Maybe that was the entire difference. It's one of those things, as he's the morning line favorite, or second choice in the morning line. He's going to take money. I don't want to find out that it was a one-off shot. If he backs it up, then you know what I'll say. This is a legitimate horse going forward. Maybe he can continue to improve. I need him to prove to me at a short number.
I like him. I need 9-2. Remember, he was 16-1
Right.
when he won last time out. And we talked about a dirtied up horse in the 3, My Golden Aura. What about the 7, Prado's Way? 2 starts on dirt. Okay, they were both sprints. He won both of those races very handily. They tried turf in his last 2, and I don't know if that's really his game. He's a Tiz Way. When he won that race at Albuquerque 3 starts back, he beat a couple of next out winners. And you look at the pedigree, it's all dirt.
Yeah.
A half to Officer Prado, a half to He's a Bling. The question is distance for me, not really surface. I think he's somewhat interesting again simply because he looks dirty.
Yeah, it's an interesting one simply because, too, you've got a long layoff here. And at this time of year, we're talking about 2+ months. I agree, the first 2 starts were good, but you also have to keep in mind the competition he was going up against pales in comparison to what he's going to face here. But the fact that he earned those 62s as early as he did, again, I mean, I don't think we're talking about superstars in this group right now anyway. A low 70, maybe that's good enough to win this race, and there's no reason to think that he couldn't improve to that number.
The number 8, C.U. Ra, he's got some things going for him. Only time he's ever run around 2 turns, he won very easy. I know it was over a sloppy track, but he's a nicely bred horse. He's by Curlin. His dam was a 4-time stakes winner on dirt. He's a half to concealed identity, a nice multiple stakes winner. Maybe getting around 2 turns could help him.
My concern is you look at the past 2 starts, he's been handled by many common opponents in this spot, and also I get that he ran on wet track 2-back, but the sloppy sealed track, we always see those big jump ups, and keep in mind he was 7-5 that day. He's just the kind of horse that he's not for me.
The number 9, Raising Rumors. The only loss on dirt came against Classic Empire in the Bashford Manor, and he still finished ahead of a couple of the horses he'll face in this spot. The dam was stakes placed going long. Do you think Raising Rumors will be more effective as a sprinter, and is he a little bit too slow right now to handle these?
I think it's both. I think he's probably going to do his best work around 1 turn, and at the end of the day, fig-wise, he's light right now.
The 10, Equator, is another Asmussen product, $400,000 yearling, a half to a graded winner on the turf, as well as a versatile multiple stakes placed horse named Ainsley. I like this horse's tactical speed. I wouldn't be surprised with a big move forward and only start number 3.
I picked this one 3rd. I liked everything I saw. The horse that ran 2nd that day came back to win next out with a 67 buyer. I like that sort of tactical gear. When he finally got out to the clear, he went on with it. Drifted out a little bit down the lane, but I think that's just because he's green, doesn't know what he's doing. Won't be surprised at all if he wins.
Number 11, Rowdy the Warrior, goes out for Donnie Von Hemel, who ran 2nd in this race last year with the good sudden breaking news. Rowdy the Warrior's now been the beaten favorite in his last 2 races, and I wonder if it's because he, like sudden breaking news, doesn't have a lot of early speed. He needs everything to break his way. At 15-1, he becomes a lot more interesting.
I picked him 4th for all the reasons you laid out. He's going to come with his run. We know that, and he finishes game. He wants to beat you. The problem is, he's always going to be up against it from a pace standpoint, and in this race particularly, I don't think they're going to go that fast.
Cool Arrow might be just hustled out from this far outside post. He's stretching out for the first time. He has shown sprint speed. And the horse that beat him last time out, Warriors Club, came back to run a surprisingly good 3rd in the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club with a 78 buyer speed figure. Still, he's got to stretch out. He's a half to a stakes-winning sprinter named Phoenician Moon. I'm not sure how far he wants to go. I don't want him at a short price, while realizing he can easily win.
Yeah, I agree completely. You know, it's a scenario where I think they have to go. They have to try to make the front with him. Like you say, that horse that he got beat by last time out for Lucas, it's a pretty decent horse. He came back to run reasonably well in that Kentucky Jockey Club. Just that outside post, having to hustle, I don't want him.
Give me numbers.
I'm going 5, 4, 10, 11 in this spot. I think both the Asmussens have a big chance. I'm going to lean toward totality.
Matt's going with totality, 5-1 on the morning line. I'm going 6, 12, 5, and 10. I'll take Young American. He's 7-2 on the line. I don't think I'm greedy to say, though, I need 9-2 before I would play him to win. If you're playing the Remington card at home on Sunday, and it's a really nice card. Not only the Springboard Mile, but several other stakes races. $25 free bet once you sign up. DRFbets.com/free bet. Then $100 worth of free bets, $100 sign-up bonus waiting for you. It's easy. Try DRF Bets risk-free this winter. Approximate post time for the Springboard Mile. Race number 11 at Remington Park on Sunday, 7:45 Central. Good luck.